Move to item 6. Draft submissions on the water services reform bills, and Diane is here to tell us all about it. Maybe not quite yet.
Just email.
Are we running a bit ahead of time, are we? Shall we have a break for a cup of tea for 5 minutes? No, does it? Oh, you've got a question? I was going to say, does anyone want to move it in the absence of the person presenting? Okay, no, that's fair enough. Okay. Yep, I'll whip down to the number 11, the Mayor's report, which you have read from cover to cover, and it's 2 pages, so it won't take you very long. It's self-explanatory. Does anyone got any questions on it, Tim? You're happy to move it, Tim? Happy to move it? And
sorry, I had a question.
Pauline will second it, but do you have a question, Yanni?
Yeah, I was just wondering, can someone tell us just what the Christchurch NZ aeronautical group is and how you've worked out who should be on it?
I'm not sure. Aeronautical group. Oh, sorry, that's the one that Kelly's on, that we went over to Beadling's Flat. Is that the area you're talking about, Yanni?
I don't know, because it's a recommendation to appoint someone to something, but I don't know when we've ever discussed it as a council. I mean, I'm not against it. I'm just curious to know more about it and what we're trying to achieve through it and what the purpose of having a council appointment to it is.
Well, I can answer if you
Yeah,
want.
it's just all it is noting the appointments. And one thing I must say while I've got you the talking stick is item 2A. It's Councillor Coker is appointed to the Three Waters Constitution Working Group for the Water Services Entity D, not Pauline. That's written in the sheet.
They got the CO and the ER right.
Okay. So has anyone got any other questions on that?
Sorry, what? I was just kind of like, can anyone explain what this group is and what the point of having a council representative on it is?
If you're not sure what the groups are, Yanni, we'll circulate a memo to point out. We'll circulate a memo to point out what they actually do, but it's pretty self-explanatory.
I think Yanni's asking what the process was to appoint people to those groups, not so much what the groups are, or maybe both.
Sorry, I can't hear you, Celeste.
I think the question was, what was the process by which individuals got appointed to the groups? That was Councillor Johansson's question.
Just someone put their hand up and said, I would like to do this. So I said, that's lovely, you can.
I also don't have a problem with the appointments, but can I just clarify, maybe Mary, you might know, are these appointments that the Mayor has the right to make, or what's the story?
Look, I don't know the details of these groups, but the Mayor wouldn't have been advised that he could appoint to these groups if he couldn't.
Yeah,
but we will.
that's what I'm
so
assuming.
it'll be by right that often groups in their constitution have a mayor's appointment, or a group would have invited the mayor to appoint.
Yeah,
but we can certainly circulate a memo.
It's
almost like
assuming.
we're chastising for him being too open and transparent.
Oh, it's good. It's just
And that's why Lee Sampson ended up on the Port Hills one that he asked. We actually had someone else and it's worked out well. So, and as Mary said, sometimes it's in their constitution that I have to pick someone.
I'm aware of that, and that's why I asked the question as well.
Thank you very much, Jake. So I've got a mover and a seconder. I'll put that motion. All those in favour? Those against? Thank you. Oh, debate? No. Was there any?
Just an inquiry about the point 3, which is news to me. And me.
Sorry, Tyler.
Sorry,
I'm not.
it's news to Andre and I for point 3. I didn't read. I didn't see that. I didn't see it come across.
Yeah, I was under the impression that you two got together and said, "We'll swap."
Let's say, This is why we have an informal,
Yeah.
just to,
That's
It's
what,
also why
So-
the
so
papers
it-
are in the public domain 5 days ahead of a meeting.
Yeah.
So,
So-
if it's a surprise right now, that is concerning. Yeah.
Here's the thing: as a new councillor, I read a lot,
Yeah, I'm
but
sure you
this
do.
passed my my view. There's so many things going across our table at the moment, and I didn't see this, so I apologise. And it's
Yeah.
pretty simple to see that it's easy for a councillor to miss something that's as simple as this
So-
when
so-
you're looking at reforms and bills.
True.
So what are you concerned about item 3?
It's only around. I wanted to discuss with Andre more about it.
well, can we leave this on the table? That would be the best thing to do then.
why don't we just leave that that noting resolution lying there and wait for you to have a conversation
Yeah,
about it?
because I understand the workload, and I'm
Yeah.
quite happy to hand it over.
But it's come as some surprise to you.
Yeah,
Is that what you're
absolutely.
saying?
Yeah. The multicultural portfolio is
So
large enough. Yeah.
So I don't.
Yeah, we've just removed it
So-
from these ones.
Okay, so we've removed that one off there, so I will now put this motion. Yes, Yanni? Okay, we can have a bit of debate. I didn't think we'd actually need any, but if you were real that keen on a bit of debate,
I would be keen, because I just do want to acknowledge actually that the council staff who worked really hard and very long hours on the Seattle Sister City Committee visit to celebrate the 40th. And I know that you acknowledged to the staff in the report, but I did want to kind of call it out because, that is a pretty special relationship, and it did require a lot of input from our staff, showing the delegation around. And I think, just to reflect that the delegation really appreciated seeing Christchurch, particularly those who'd been before the earthquake and post-earthquake, what we've managed to achieve. But also they look really forward to working with us going forward and recommitting to the relationship. And I also just wanted to acknowledge the new chair, Malik, who's been agreed to be the chair of that Sister City Committee, and also just to recognise the long service of Brian Palliser, who for many years has given to that group as well. So, sorry, I just wanted to
no, don't be sorry.
just
No, it's-
acknowledge that publicly, because I do think, it was a pretty important milestone for us as a city. And I know that I personally saw how hard our staff worked on making that a success, and I just wanted to acknowledge that.
Thank you, and you did right. The work that the international relations team does on that Seattle one, plus a lot of others. We had one yesterday, didn't we, Pauline?
Solomon Islands.
Yes, and then we've got Princess Anne on Friday. So they do a phenomenal amount of work in behind the scenes and make things run really well. So, any more debate? Thank you. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Thank you. Carried. So we are back to item